Hi, welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. In my old slobby clothes, I've literally just rolled out of bed and I just felt like I needed to move my body. I've got no plan in my head whatsoever, but I just know that I need to do some kind of gentle movement. My back is quite stiff, uncomfortable at the moment, so I will be moving quite slowly. So this is a practice for you if you feel that way too, if your back isn't moving the way that you want it to, or if you've just rolled out of bed and just want to do a little bit of stretching but don't really know where to start. So please join me today, this morning, this evening, whatever time it is for you. Roll out your mat and let's just do some gentle movements, waking up the body in my case because it's this morning, and just see how we feel. So we're going to start standing today. Because I have just rolled out of bed, I don't really want to get back down on the mat and lie down. So we're going to start in quite an active posture. Just roll the shoulders back and down. Standing tall, rooting the feet down towards the earth and just feeling a little bit of extension through the spine, through the torso, softening the shoulders, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And just take 2 or 3 breaths here just to settle yourself into this space here today. And just moving in a way that your body wants to move, not in a way that you think you ought to move, but in a way that is directed and dictated by how your body feels today, in this moment, just right now. So if you have your eyes closed, we found that balance between the right-hand side, the left-hand side of the body. We're just going to reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. They may not be in shot, I'm not too sure. Keep the shoulders soft, reach the arms up. And as we draw the palms together, so we take them down through the center of the body, bend into the knees if you need to, as we have a little gentle forward fold. I'm going to take my hands down onto my legs and then onto the floor here. So letting the crown of the head fall down towards the earth, fingertips to the floor or on the front of the legs if you want to. Feeling that nice stretch down through the back of the legs. And then bending the knees as much as you need to get those hands fully flat to the floor. We're just going to step the right foot, the left foot back into a plank position here. Just holding our plank just for a couple of breaths. Bring some movement in if you want to. We can come forwards and backwards onto the toes. Maybe dropping over onto one side, dropping over onto the other. Lowering the knees back to the floor and just gently pushing back into a child's pose before coming forward once more, lowering the chest down and the chin down, and then coming into either a sphinx or a low cobra, or even up dog if you want to. It's just whatever you feel like doing today. Rolling the shoulders back and down, opening out the chest here, so drawing the shoulder blades together. Couple of breaths, take as long as you want to in each of these postures. Lower chest to floor, take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, depending on your energy. You can push straight back into plank, or you can come onto the knees first, and then coming into a down dog. Keep the hands where they are, just walk the feet around and have softness in the knees. So bend those knees as much as you need to find extension through the spine. So we don't want to be rounding the back here or arching too much. We just want a nice long spine. So if that means bending the knees to lift the hips, then so be it. Give the head a little bit of a shake here as well to release any tension. And then we're going to look forward towards the hands, look the way we're going, take as many steps as we need to come back towards the top of the mat. And I'm going to keep my knees bent and use my hands to assist me to come up to standing, planting my feet, reaching my hands, and then draw the hands down towards the heart. So quite a slow, pulled back variation of a sun salutation. I'm just going to do that once more. So again, rolling the shoulders back and down, finding our Tadasana, our mountain pose. As we inhale, we reach the arms up. As we exhale, we touch the palms, draw them down through the center of the body. Bend the knees if you need to as we lower it forward. Use the hands on the legs as well if that helps. To get the hands down towards the floor, lower the head. Stepping the feet back, step the opposite foot back if you remember. Don't worry if you don't. And then again, lowering down onto the knees. Little push back into child's pose if you want to. Coming forward. Don't know if you heard that, my knees cracking on the floor. Lower it down. Either Sphinx or low cobra. Before taking the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes. We can either push straight into plank or come onto the knees first before finding our downward facing dog. Bend those knees, step the feet in if you need to, length through the spine. Look forward towards the hands, stepping the feet towards the top of the mat, finding that forward fold, and then as we inhale, reaching it up, touch our palms together and draw the hands down towards the heart. Rolling those shoulders back and down. We're going to lift our left knee up now. Try not to tilt the hips. Find that focus, find that balance. And we're just going to step it back, reaching the arms up, coming into our warrior one. So facing those hips towards the front of the mat if we can. A little squeeze in the glute. And moving with the breath, opening out into our warrior two, adjusting the position of the legs, keeping that softness through the upper body, rooting down through the feet. Nice gentle little flow as we reverse our warrior, taking that left hand down, reaching up with the right, softness through that bottom shoulder, and then flowing back through our warrior two. We're going to circle our hands down towards the floor now, as though we are moving in slow motion. So we pivot on that back foot, drop it down, and just lower our left knee to the floor here. Keeping that left hand on the inside of the left foot, just sweeping our right arm up. If it's uncomfy on the knee, either roll the mat, have a little bit of padding, or sometimes it feels better just to come onto the toe here. Bringing that right hand back down towards the floor. Let's just walk the fingertips backwards and have a little stretch down the back of our right leg into that hamstring. Moving your body forwards and backwards if you want to, but don't have to stay still in any of these postures. And coming forward, finding this low lunge posture. And all we're going to do here, if we can, is bring ourselves up to standing and step that left foot to meet the right at the top of the mat. Let's come on to the opposite side. Take our hands to the heart and lift that right knee. Find that focus, find that balance. As we drop the right foot behind us, coming into our warrior one. So the back foot is turned in, about 45 degrees. Reach the arms up if you wish, or keep them towards the heart. And I'm going to turn my back on you now as we open out into warrior two. You get the full effect of my very baggy, very unattractive tracksuit bottoms. But remember, it's not what we look like, it's how we feel. Let's reverse our warrior two. Bring it back over into warrior. Pivoting on that back foot, so we are facing the front. See if we can drop down onto that right knee. Take the hands either side of our left foot, and if we keep that right hand where it is, we reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Again, the option to come onto the toe if that feels a little bit better for you. Bringing our left hand down, let's return that right knee to the floor, walking the hands back. Little stretch through the back of the leg, moving our body forwards and backwards if we want to. Following the breath, let the breath guide the movement. So if you notice you're holding your breath or it's becoming a little bit short or ragged, ease off out of the posture. Have a break, have a rest. Walking ourselves in now into our little low lunge. We're going to tuck the toes of the back foot. I have a very handy wall here. And then from here, keeping our core nicely engaged, we're just going to push ourselves up. I am all over the place this morning, aren't I? And we're going to step our right foot to meet our left at the top of the mat. Let's reach those arms up again. As we exhale, drawing the palms down through the center of the body, bending into the knees, folding forward. Maybe feeling a little more loose in our movements. Inhale, maybe a little halfway lift. Hands to the floor. Let's step it back into a plank position. So we're just going to hold this plank as we move into a side plank. 2 variations, either dropping your right knee to the floor, move your right hand into the center of the mat as we open up into our side plank. That's option 1. If you are feeling super strong today, we're just going to bring that right hand into the center of the mat, roll to the right hand side of the feet and lift that arm up. Keep the hips lifted, the core engaged. See if we can hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Drop that hand down towards the floor. Knees come down. The chest lowers, the chin grazes the floor as we find our little back bend here. So I'm coming into a Sphinx posture. I can just feel my back not hurting, but just saying, take it easy. So I'm not going to come into Cobra. I'm going to stay in our Sphinx pose. Let's lower back down towards the floor. Coming back up. Now we can either come onto all fours or we can push up into that plank as we find side plank on the opposite side. Remember, you can take the knee to the floor, drawing the right arm up, again, keeping those hips lifted. Or if you want to, just take the left hand to the center, reach up with the right arm, lifting up through the hips, holding here for 3. Keep breathing for 2. And 1. Let's take that hand down towards the floor, take it into our downward facing dog. And this time we're going to walk our feet to the center of the mat, maybe mat distance, flare the toes out and sit down into a little squat position. If squat position isn't for you, just drop your bottom to the floor, bring the soles of your feet together as we find this butterfly leg position here. So I'm just going to come back into my little yogi squat, using my elbows to push the knees away, tailbone to the floor. Closing my eyes for a second, just returning to the breath, noticing how my body is feeling, how the breath is flowing. And I invite you to do the same, whether you are sat down on your bottom or in this little squat pose here. Just opening the eyes and then dropping down myself. Bringing the legs into a crossed legged position now. Just find some softness through the body. I'm just going to turn to face you actually. Makes a lot more sense. So just sitting in our cross-legged position. You can still have your legs in that butterfly pose if that feels better for you. Reaching the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. We're going to take that right hand down to the earth, fingertips to the floor or hand flat. Softness through that right shoulder, just reaching over. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, taking it over to the opposite side. So a little bit of softness through the body, keeping both sit bones rooted to the floor. Don't have to come too far. You don't have to sort of bend your body into shapes it doesn't want to make. We're just introducing a little bit of movement. Meditating through these postures with our breath. And as we exhale, let's come into a twist, taking that left hand onto the right knee. Drawing that twist up through the center of the body. Up through the chest, the shoulders, the neck and the head is the last thing to turn. If you find sometimes that you grip onto your knee in an effort to draw yourself around a little bit further, maybe take the back of your hand onto the leg. It's harder to push around that way. Than you're allowing your core, your center to move you rather than using your hand as leverage. Let's reach the arms all the way back up again. Nice deep breath in as we root down through those sit bones. And as we exhale, just finding that twist on the opposite side. Fantastic. Come back to face the front. We're going to lie down now. So we started standing. We're going to finish lying down. So get yourself down onto your mat. Keep your knees bent. Take our right knee, just draw it in towards our chest, keeping as much of the spine in contact with the floor as possible. Give that ankle a circle. And then as we inhale, extend up through the back of that leg, up towards the ceiling. Point and flex the foot. Keep the shoulders soft on the mat. So if you can hold behind the back of the thigh, great. Calf, marvelous. Toe, whatever you want to hang on to. Or even just let the arms relax alongside the body and let your leg do the work here as it draws in towards you. So we don't want to bring any strain through the top of the body in an effort to reach the toe here. Let's just stay here for a few more breaths. And as we exhale, just be aware and see if you've got any space in the body to draw that leg closer without forcing it. Taking our right ankle over our left knee now as we come into this reclined pigeon pose. Little stretch into the outside of that right leg, into the glute as well. And if you want to intensify that, then we just lift that left foot off. Take the hands behind the back of that left thigh, again, without reaching up and trying to put excessive strain on the body here. Returning that left foot to the floor, the right foot to the floor, and that left leg lifts up towards the ceiling. Holding behind the back of the leg, circling the ankle, or maybe flexing the foot here. Close your eyes if you wish. So whatever time of day it is for you, if it's the morning, try not to focus too much on what you have going on in the day. Just try and stay present here. And any thoughts that come into your mind, just see if you can watch them pass by as though you are a passenger on a train, watching the countryside flash by. Let's take that left ankle now over the right knee. Just find your pigeon. You can keep that right foot on the floor, or we can hook our hands around the back of our right thigh as we draw the left foot closer in towards us here. Let's take the feet back down to the floor, reaching the arms out behind us, and then drawing the hands and the arms down into this sort of cactus position. As we touch the knees together, bring the inner ankles together, and just take both legs over towards the right hand side. As we turn our gaze to the left, a little twist here. Using that breath as we inhale, draw the knees back to center. As we exhale, slowly allowing them to drop towards the left as we turn our gaze to the right. Inhale, knees back to center. Give yourself a little hug, wrapping your arms tightly around your legs if you wish. Maybe even lifting your chin up to your knees as you give yourself a big hug. Before maybe lowering your shoulders back down. And possibly, if you want to, just spending a minute or two just lying in this Shavasana in your relaxation posture at the end of that little wake up stretch class. Thank you for joining me on the mat for that short stretch sequence today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon. Namaste.